A question I get asked all the time is, Emmylou, how do you add those beautiful glitters, inks, and colors to create beautiful stamped backgrounds? Today, you and I are going to step through my simple yet easy techniques to create stunning masterpieces of backgrounds that you're going to be able to just create fun accents for your cards and projects. At the very end, we'll create this beautiful dimensional card together. To create this beautiful stamp background, I'm using this branch from the Dogwood Chapel stamp set. We're going to ink it up with Rouge chalk ink first. And once that's inked up completely, I'm going to use my New Sprout Memento ink and just go in and kind of randomly hit some of those leaf areas. Now, I'm not super picky about it. You won't see it too much, but it will just kind of blot the color out just a little bit, so it makes it a little bit softer. Do you see just that beautiful stamped background image? So we'll do this again, and you'll kind of randomly stamp that around the background until everything has a nice pattern over the top. Now, I'm not going flat down with my green ink. I'm just kind of hitting it at an angle and just randomly stamping that. So we'll just kind of do this on the side, and you'll just continue that until the entire background is stamped. So we'll add a little bit of green again. Just go down the center, and then you'll just continue filling that out until all the white background has disappeared. To add color to this background that you've just stamped, what I like to do is I like to start out with the Rouge color, which is the color that we inked it in, and I'll just kind of add a little bit of circular motion, a little bit of pink on all of those flowers. So you'll just do that first of all. And I don't really think about it too much, I just do it very quickly. Once you've added pink to all those flower backgrounds, you'll go back with the other color. I'm just going to color this in partially, so you'll get the gist of how that's done. I'm switching to Summer Sky, and I'm going to add a little bit of that blue. Now this blue is very, very soft, so it just kind of adds a little bit of shading and a little bit of color and texture into that background. So we'll do that kind of on this side, and you do that over the entire background of this paper. I'm just going to do it on the one end, so you see a little bit of the blue background, so it kind of looks like dogwood blossoms in the wind. And then once you're finished with that, I go back with the New Sprout green, which is the same color that we had used to kind of blot out some of the pink and make it a little bit softer. And I'll just go back and kind of hit some of those leaves with that green. I won't be very precise with it, but just add that to the background, and that adds a nice soft shade of color, so we have this entire section filled in. I wanted to add some light blue stamp paint to the background. This has a light shimmer, and it just adds a little bit of extra color. So I just sponge it randomly in the background to continue to kind of make it look a little bit soft, a little bit shimmery, a little bit elegant, and kind of like you have that cloud look in the background. This dries very quickly, and you just sponge very fast, and you've got that texture on the background. To add all the glitter and glass shards to this background to make it so shiny and shimmery, I was playing with a fun new technique. All you need to do is just take some glue from your dry as clear glue bottles, add it to your sponge. I'm using a yellow Hydra sponge, and I'm just sponging this off on a coffee filter. You could just use an extra piece of paper, and then randomly sponge this glue across the background. Since you're sponging it on, it will give you more of a soft look versus a globby look if you'd put lines of glue on. So you can see it's just a little bit wet in some areas. So I'm going to first of all just sprinkle my glitter over the top. and just kind of tap that off, and it will hit all those areas that you sponged that glue on top of. I'm just going to add a little bit down in this section. Once you've done that, you'll go back, add some more glue. I like to make sure it's wet enough, but not too wet that it's very globby. So you'll sponge that off onto your whatever surface that you have, and then just go back and sponge again, and then we'll add some glass shards. Now glass shards is more of a chunky glitter, but it's very elegant. So we'll go back and just add those over the top, tap it off, and that just kind of clings to whichever areas that you sponge that glue over the top. And then you'll just lay this aside to dry. To add a little bit of contrast to the background, I tore apart the center. So to do that, I just added my foam strips right away. You wouldn't have to do that first, but so we'll add a little bit of paper tearing to the center. So that's a fun contrast. Now when you're pulling paper, you always want to tear towards yourself so that you have that beautiful white torn edge on this side. So I'll just flip this upside down, and then you'll want to do the same thing to this side. I just want to make sure that I have both edges looking very similar. So just tear off a little piece of this one. Then I'll go back and I want to add a little bit of accent to this edge. Now I would highly recommend adding a little bit of glue to your sponge again, and also add glitter to this edge so that it matches the background. So we'll go ahead and sponge this as well, and this will be ready to add to our card base. Now once everything's sponged, I just have this card base all ready to go. We'll go ahead and glue this down first on this top side. And then we'll just pull this away a little bit. I'll bring this down. Now I see that I want a little bit, I'll just bring this all the way up to the edge of the card, and then I have this decorative border die that I want to have as a little bit of an accent. That border die comes from the Fleur Border Basics. So what you want to do is just add a little bit of glue. I cut the border apart already, so you can go ahead and pop this into the center just a little bit, and just press that to the background. And then I'll kind of see, okay, where do I want that over on this side? To just kind of fill that in. I'll pull this off on this piece, and we'll add just a little bit of glue on this background. So that's a quick and easy way to add some accents to your background cards, and it looks like you spent so much time creating it. To add the accents to this card, I stamped and die cut the flowering dogwood branch in black ink and colored that. That gets cut out with a coordinating die. We also use this beautiful dove, and that one comes from the flowering dogwood and doves stamp and die set. That one was just colored as well, along with this open branch. And I also like to use the flowering dogwood stamp and die set. So for these pieces, I just stamped, die cut them, and colored them. If you're not familiar with how to do that, just make sure you watch my video called the flowering dogwood video. So I'm going to start out by just adding a little bit of glue to the branch, and you'll see how quickly and easily this card will come together. So in the evening, I'll oftentimes sit down, stamp and die cut a bunch of flowers and elements for my cards within a specific collection, and that allows you to very quickly create these dimensional, beautiful, delicate projects that look like you spent so many hours creating. So with this one, you'll definitely want to make sure you watch that flowering dogwood video as well to see how we shape these beautiful florals and the stamens in the center. So we'll just add these a little bit to the side. Now with this branch, it's so fun to use. I'll just pull apart little pieces so you can use it all together as that full branch, or you can use little snippets and add it to the main flower, so it really adds a nice background accent. So you'll just continue filling in this card with those branches, with the leaves, and just have a lot of fun building that up. The leaves within the flowering dogwood stamp and die set are very fun and easy to add to your cards. And you just continue to build that, add your finishing touches of glitter and glass shards, and you'll have that exclusive, delicate, beautiful cards that your friends and family will love. Have fun experimenting with different coloring techniques, adding those glitter, glass shards, and mixed media products. If you don't own the stamps, dyes, and glitters that I used in the video today, make sure to get those orders so you can start playing with this technique immediately. I've added the products below for quick and easy ordering. I'd love to see what you create. You can share your projects with us on Facebook. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on those future videos. Thank you so much for joining me today and being part of the Heartfelt Creations crafting community. I will see you next time.